Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning for the Open Roads Designer Rollout Update. My name is Jacob Tambunga, and I'm the Director of Plan Development for the Design Division. We've muted everyone on entry, but please be sure you remain muted during the presentation. We'll answer any questions after the presentation, so if you have a question, please type it in the chat window to everyone. This will help us gather the questions since there will be others helping facilitate the questions. Today we're going to review our 3D program roadmap to show what our long-term vision is with 3D design. I'm going to give an update on where we are with our Open Roads Designer, or ORD, rollout initiative, and finally, I'll introduce you to digital delivery. 3D program roadmap. This roadmap shows us where we've been, where we are now, and where we're going regarding 3D design. Step 1 shows what we had been doing for about 25 years. We utilized GeoPack to do all engineering work, including producing cross-sections and XSR files. Then in February 2018, an email was sent out by administration stating that all geometric projects, that is, all projects with new or revised alignments, will be developed using Open Roads technology. This means that TxDOT gravitated away from GeoPack and moved to Open Roads. The main difference is the use of templates and corridors in Open Roads versus criteria files in GeoPack. As part of our continued commitment to utilizing 3D design, in Step 3 we began providing the contractor with cross-sections for geometric projects on the FTP site in native PDF format. And what native PDF format really means is that the cross-section PDFs were printed directly from the software and not scanned. The benefit of this is that contractors can use these cross-sections in a similar way they've used XSR files to produce 3D models for use in their bidding process. We've been asked about producing XSR files from the current software, and we do not recommend doing this. The process of taking a project designed with Open Roads technology and bringing it into GeoPack to produce an XSR file is cumbersome and time-consuming. The arrow on the roadmap shows us that we are approaching step number 4, which is the ORD rollout. This will be where we replace the current software, which has both GeoPack and Open Roads capabilities, with ORD, which only has Open Roads capabilities. Now, the question has been asked about shelf projects produced in GeoPack and how we would address change orders. We will still have the ability to install a version of the current software on machines if the need arises during a project's lifecycle. This also holds true for projects being developed in the current version of Open Roads technology. The version we have now is not a direct transfer to ORD. I'll cover more about the specifics of the rollout on the next slide. Once we roll out ORD and the districts are confident they're producing complete models, we'll move to step 5, posting surfaces and on the FTP site pre-bid. This means that we will be posting surfaces of the subgrade, flex base, and or final surface for the contractor's use in the bidding process. We have a task force with AGC to ensure the information we provide will be useful. After we get to the point where we're consistently and confidently providing surfaces pre-bid, we'll move towards step 6, posting 3D models on the FTP site pre-bid. This means we'll provide 3D models, surfaces, and cross-sections to the contractor for use in the bidding process. Once we are consistently and confidently posting the 3D models online, we'll move towards step 7, which is a pilot project for digital delivery. Digital delivery means we will no longer be producing plan sets with design sheets. We will deliver a model to convey all the engineering data needed to construct a project. There'll be some quote-unquote sheets like standards and specs, but the way we deliver plan sets now will not be the way we deliver them for digital delivery. Finally, after we successfully pilot a project or number of projects, we will move to digital delivery for all qualifying projects. Starting with the first gray box, the plan development section began working with Bentley on the ORD workspace in November 2018. During the development of the workspace, we moved to our next step, posting the cross-sections on the FTP site. This started in July 2019. The next major event occurred when Bentley released the upgraded version of the ORD software. This occurred in January of this year. This upgraded software contained the items and functionality TxDOT requested to be included. These upgrades align with TxDOT's workflows and best practices. Since that release, PD has been testing the software and working to finalize the workspace. This is our internal user acceptance test. We've been working closely with Bentley to address any issues we found and to ensure the workspace and the program are functioning correctly. A step that has recently become a necessity is upgrading from SS4 to SS10. The reason we need to upgrade to SS10 is that Bentley is discontinuing the support of SS4 in 2020. SS4's licenses are housed on a server that Bentley will soon be decommissioning. The licensing for SS10 is housed in the cloud. That's the only difference between the software. In order to verify this though, PD is currently testing SS10 and will be testing the package that will be pushed to the district users to ensure there are no issues. From a district user's perspective, there should be no change or interruption to your daily work. The only difference you should see is a splash screen that says SS10 instead of SS4 when you open the file. Ideally, we would push this via the network hardline, but since we are now all on VPN, this may produce a challenge. We're still working with ITD and NTT to see what the risks are of a push of this size via the VPN. If pushing SS10 via the VPN is a viable option, we should be able to push it out as soon as mid to late June. If we need to wait until everyone is back in the office, this upgrade may be delayed. Once we get SS10 pushed to all users, we will work on the package to push out MicroStation Connect Edition to all users. MicroStation Connect Edition is a drafting program that accompanies ORD in the Connect Edition suite. The purpose of pushing out MicroStation Connect prior to ORD is twofold. One, pushing this out before ORD will give the users an opportunity to explore the new interface of the program, since MicroStation Connect and ORD have the same ribbon-based interface. And two, we will provide a list of MicroStation training sessions that will be on the Bentley Learn site. Completing these sessions will be a prerequisite to taking the ORD training session. Reasoning for this is that we need to ensure that users have basic program skills like how to draw a line in order to make sure the ORD training is efficient for everyone attending. We'll be working with HR to ensure methods of receiving course completion certificates from Bentley in order for a user to register for the ORD training. I also want to mention, for a while, we will have both GeoPack and MicroStation SS10 and ORD and MicroStation Connect editions on the same machine. The reasoning for this is to allow for the completion of ongoing projects because the versions of the software are not directly compatible. A file created in ORD cannot be opened in SS10. A file created in SS10 will not directly transfer to ORD. This is because there is a different schema in ORD than in SS10. We're currently testing this configuration to ensure they are functional together, and so far there has been no problems with them being on the same machine. After MicroStation Connect is pushed to all district users, we will be conducting a user acceptance test with some districts and consultant partners. We've reached out to some districts and consultants in order to get a strong user group to ensure we are ready to push out ORD for use and the workspace is ready. We anticipate this lasting about 2 weeks. The plan was to house the consultants at Riverside for the duration of the testing, and the district staff would be able to work from their respective districts. This plan could change though because of the current situation of everyone teleworking. We are exploring alternative methods of conducting the UAT. Once ORD receives a pass from the UAT, we will begin the rollout. The first step in the rollout is to identify district champions. These champions will be the ORD SME for their district. Some districts may have more than one champion. Once the district champions have been identified, they will participate in a pilot training session. This will be our opportunity to make sure the training is ready to be delivered to the district staff. We anticipate this to take about 3 to 4 weeks to complete. Once the champion training is complete, we'll begin the ORD rollout to the districts. This will be strategic, with the goal being to roll out the software and training to 4 districts simultaneously. We anticipate the rollout and training will take 4 to 5 months. I'll cover the training plan in more detail on the next slide. Once we train the district staff, and all districts should be moving to producing complete models. What we mean by this is producing a model where everything in the model solves correctly and completely. All the side slopes, transitions, earthwork, etc. should be accurately shown in the model as they will be constructed. The reasoning for this is once we begin providing surfaces and 3D models, we want to ensure the information we provide to the contractor is accurate and usable for bidding and in construction. Once we move to digital delivery, any models that are not complete will result in RFIs and/or change orders. Once a district is producing complete models, all districts will provide complete models and other requested information to the winning bidder. The next step will be for us to pilot the process of providing surfaces pre-letting. After this pilot of a project or several projects is successful, all districts will post surfaces and cross-sections on the FTP site pre-bid. I do want to emphasize that as we move along this roadmap, we will test the pilot and every step and communicate throughout the process to ensure everyone knows where we are. I know the main question you probably have is, when will TxDOT roll out to ORD and when will I have to start using it? As you can see, there are a few steps to complete before we get there, but I think it's important to share with our consultant partners the steps needed for a successful rollout. ORD training plan. I want to go over the training plan in more detail to make sure it's clear to everyone. I know, again, these steps might not directly apply to you, but I think it's important to share our steps for a successful rollout. The training plan is first to identify ORD champions in each district. The district will identify the champions. These champions will be the ORD SMEs for their district. Some districts may have more than one champion depending on request. There'll be 2 pilot/champion trainings. These training sessions will serve as a way for us to verify all topics are covered efficiently and completely in the training session. We anticipate this to take 3 to 4 weeks. Once the district training sessions begin, ORD will be pushed to the wave of 4 districts prior to their on-site training. This will give the opportunity for any user to preview the software before the training session. We will push out the software. We will also push out links to ORD videos so that the user can become acquainted with the software. These are not training videos. They're simply meant to familiarize the user with the software. There'll be 4 teams to simultaneously deliver the training to the 4 different districts. An example might be Team 1 in Houston, Team 2 in Dallas, Team 3 in Corpus, and Team 4 in Lubbock, all delivering training the same week. The plan is to deliver the week-long training session on the 1st and 3rd weeks of the month. We're planning for some districts to need more than one training session, and for some districts to be able to travel to neighboring districts to attend training. We're also going to have several training sessions at Riverside in order to train anyone who could not attend training session at their district or neighboring district. The training teams will consist of 1 PD staff and 1 Bentley staff. Bentley will be delivering the training, but it will be a training session that PD has developed, similar to the DES 727 class that was delivered in the past. PD is currently developing the training and a workbook that incorporates TxDOT's best practices. We anticipate the training will be complete in 4 to 5 months. Digital delivery. I want to briefly talk to you about digital delivery and what we've done to start moving this direction. As I mentioned, digital delivery means we will no longer be producing plan sets with design sheets like P&P sheets. We'll deliver a model to convey all the engineering data needed to construct a project. We recently went to Utah for a peer exchange to see how they are utilizing digital delivery. Utah has been using models as a deliverable for almost 10 years, so they can offer plenty of success methodologies and lessons learned. While we were in Utah, we were able to talk to the Utah staff as well as members of Minnesota DOT and Montana DOT on how they were advancing with digital delivery. We learned that Utah is using iModels to deliver their projects, which is essentially a container file for all their electronic design files. We had a discussion about how Utah has had success with delivering buildable plans without design sheets. We also spoke with some contractors from Utah and discussed their experience with digital plans. One thing we did find out is that the digital plans do have standards and supporting documents attached to the models as PDF. I have a monthly call with the DOTs from the peer exchange to discuss their progress with digital delivery and any software needs or concerns they are finding. I also have contacts of several other DOTs who are also on the digital delivery path, including New York DOT, Michigan DOT, Georgia DOT, and Iowa DOT. We're also hoping to plan a follow-up trip to Utah to visit some projects in construction to see how the contractor is utilizing the digital deliverable in the field. We hope to have some representatives from some districts and/or divisions. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. I know this was a quick presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, Sanders Simpson, or Taylor Mansfield from the Plan Development section of Design Division.